Okay, welcome everyone to the fall 2021 a new master's student orientation for the teacher education department. Thank you for joining us. We will try to make this quick and painless and get you out so that you can all have your the rest of your day. I want to thank you all for taking some time to learn more about the program and give us a chance to personally answer any questions that you might have at the end. Our agenda for today, really quick, you all seem to be muted. We pretty much know our protocol for Zoom meetings at this point, everyone. If you have a question, you can put it in the chat. We'll answer questions. I'm going to ask Dr. K to please monitor the chat. At the end, we'll answer any questions, or you'll have an opportunity to, at the end, to unmute and ask us any questions, okay? So as we're going along, if you have some questions, don't hesitate to throw them in the chat. We'll make sure we get to them by the end. Really quick, a little bit about our agenda, everyone. We will be introducing ourselves. This is the welcome portion. We'll be sharing some general program information with you about the master's programs that would apply to any master's student in the teacher education department, regardless of program. There'll be a couple bits of information that's specific depending on what program you happen to be in. And then we'll have that opportunity for questions and answers. And then if there is any of my new early childhood students online, there's going to be a quick after talk. We need to talk about some programming changes, which are super exciting. And so we'll get to that at the end. Okay, so just to start with an introduction, I'm Elise Hashi. I'm the chair of the teacher education department, and I am the director of BELLS, which is bilingual education, early childhood education, literacy education, and social cultural studies. So those of you who are new MA diversity master students, perhaps early childhood, bilingual, literacy, all of your programs in terms of masters fall under my direction on a good day. Sometimes it's kind of interesting. So I'm one of the chairs of the teacher education department, and I'm going to let our co-chair introduce herself.
And I'm Olga Koshileva, co-chair of
Dr.
teacher
K, you're on
education.
mute.
No, I'm not. No, okay, 1 second. Can you hear me?
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yes.
So, I'm Olga Koshileva, co-chair of teacher education in STEM area, director of STEM education division. So if you are MAD dual credit or MAD Ed technology or Master of Arts with physics, right now I have several people. I would be your advisor. Thank you.
Okay, I blame Dr. Koshileva. It was me. My computer was on opposite mute, so that's why I wasn't hearing her. It's Saturday morning, folks, I know. And for some of you, most of us, like the first week of school. So I'm glad you all are out of bed. Let's put it like that. Okay, so let's get some information about the program. Basically, regardless of program, master's program in the teacher education department, it follows this sort of flow or sequence. So admissions, by the way, you've already completed, you're in. That's worth a celebration, so yay. All of you should have been initially online advised either by a faculty member or reached out by department staff, either Mr. Navarro, Margot Navarro, or Ms. Kathy Surratt, who's helped facilitated that initial getting you into your courses for this fall. If there's anybody who is not registered for courses for this fall, please send a message to TED, T-E-D, grad, G-R-A-D, I can spell really, at utep.edu, and we're going to make sure that we get you enrolled. You should already be enrolled for master's courses this fall, please. Then you just start settling in and doing your coursework, and we'll talk more about specifics about that in a minute. All of the programs, regardless of what concentration they're in or what focus they're on, have a culminating requirement. So this could take the form of taking exam. We have the comprehensive exams. It could take the form of being taking a capstone course and doing a project in that course, or it could be take the form of thesis, completing successfully doing a thesis, and that program specific. But all programs have something that you do to demonstrate your mastery of the content so we can give you that master's degree, right? And then finally, graduation. So you all are settling in. You're already, you know, you're already on stage 3. We're already on enrollment here. So so kudos to you. Oh, and I did put a little like happy emoji because at graduation, of course, there's an implied, the next step would be a big old party, right? So we're going to go through and I'm going to share some general information, doing this in a question and answer form. So I'll give the questions, then I'll give the answer. And then if you think we missed any questions that you have, we'll give you those answers at the end. A lot of students want to know how many courses or credits do I need to complete my degree at master's degree at UTEP? How long will it take me to finish? This is program specific, folks. If you're in the Master's of Education, so curriculum instruction is a Master's of Education degree, and literacy education is a master's education degree, 36 credits or 12 courses. The general time frame for students to complete this degree is 20 to 24 months. We get worried if it's taking more than 2 years, and you know, if you take more classes and speed up the process, then you can get done earlier. And that 24 months includes summer also, folks. If you're interested in maximum enrollment speed and you want to get done as soon as possible for the MED programs, then you're going to want to make sure that you're enrolled in 3 courses for fall, 3 courses for spring, and you can take up to 4 courses in the summer. We have a summer 1 section and summer 2 section, and so you could take 2 each term. Now, our courses are rigorous, and that is a lot of coursework. We're going to talk about that in a minute. 3 courses in fall, 3 courses in spring, 4 in summer is not a requirement of the program. I'm just sharing with you now what's the fastest way to get through. I'm going to give some other options in another slide. For the Masters of Art program, which is anybody here who joined us in the new Diversity, Equity, Social Justice, and Education, or if you're a STEM Education Master's student, that's a 30 credit degree. It's 10 courses to get your degree. The time frame for that is around 16 to 20 months. And again, we have a maximum enrollment. If you want to make it at the 16, you would need 3 courses in fall, 3 in spring, and 2 in summer. Okay. And then you end in this program, you end up with a 2 in your thesis in that following. In this case, it would be fall, folks. Wait, why is it not? I just want to move. Oh, sorry. And it froze. There we go. No, I think it went. So that begs the question next of what is full-time enrollment as a graduate student? Most of you, when you did your undergraduate, you probably took 4, even 5 courses. That was considered full-time enrollment. It's not the same number of courses when we're talking about master's or graduate level courses. I'm going to talk in specifics of what's considered at UTEP as a requirement or what's considered full-time for financial aid, because I know most of you need that sort of financial support. And so when we talk about full-time, we talk about it in terms of what it gets you, what qualifies for financial aid. So at UTEP, in all master's programs, full-time enrollment for financial aid at the graduate level is considered 3 courses or 9 credit hours per semester. So that would be 9 credit hours, 3 courses in fall, 9 courses in credit hours, 3 courses in spring, and at least 3 courses, 9 credit hours in summer. That said, many of you are practicing teachers and have lives or want to get a life, you know what I mean? So 2 courses in the fall and the spring and the summer, any given semester, 6 credit hours, each would still qualify for financial aid. At the graduate level, that's called 3/4 time, right? So you're 75%, but 75% enrollment does qualify you for financial aid. Many people do things like take 2 courses in fall, 2 courses in spring, and then depending on summer vacation or not, or they're going to, could take 4 or just take 2 in summer, excuse me, because you want to, get a rest. So 2 courses is perfectly fine. The department considers that, and on our end, good rate. You'll get done in those either for the MA's 20 months or for the MED's 24 months if you just took 2 classes, per semester. I do want to make a note. You can take 1 course a semester. It's allowed by the department. We don't encourage it, because as much as we love you and want to get to know you, we don't want to know you for the next 5 or 10 years, right? That said, we know that life happens. We're all still, we thought we were coming out of COVID, and now the Delta and all these new variants are coming. People have marriage and life and babies and parents. We know that life is complex. In any given semester, you can just take one course. We recommend highly never stopping. It's very hard if you stop to come back. And there are rules. Students get caught. They stop. Oops, just a second, I have a visitor. Sorry. We all have lives, folks. It's Saturday. Hey, he had clothes on. The last time we came to a meeting, he didn't. Okay, it's very hard to start up to get sort of that momentum back. And then students come back and say, hey, I've completed half my degree and now I want to continue. And we're like, great, but it's been so long, none of those courses count. So you're out the money, you're out the time. So if life gets in the way, I suggest we're okay with you taking the one class. Please know though, that one course or 3 credits in any given semester does not qualify you for financial aid. So the problem is then you're going to have to pick up the financial burden. So that's the breakdown. According to UTEP, full-time is 9 hours. According to us, as long as you have 6 hours, you get your financial aid, the department's happy, you're making progress. The one credit option is there. I mean, one class, excuse me. Oh, it's been a rough day already. One course option is there. However, you would not qualify for financial aid, okay? Some things to know. And I know this sounds, I'm just making this clear. We are here, we want to help you, but we do not, the teacher education department does not process financial aid. You can ask your faculty about financial aid. You're wasting your time. They don't know the answers, probably, given, I'm just not gonna lie. They probably don't know the answers. And even if they gave you an answer, I don't know if I trust it. And I'm not saying anything about the faculty. It's just not what they do. TED staff cannot counsel you on financial aid either. Mr. Navarro, Ms. Surratt, Dr. Koshaleva and I, the other people who are in the office you may get contact with, we are not financial aid officers. That said, there are 2 things. One, there is the Teach Grant. Teach Grant is a scholarship available for if you're in a program that has high needs. So all of you who are bilingual in the bilingual program, you might want to investigate Teach Grant because it might be a way to pay for it without student loans. For instance, I know that one qualifies right off the bat. We do facilitate and sign the paperwork, which then you turn into financial aid because we don't process financial aid. We have a financial aid department at UTEP, the financial aid office. You can literally contact them at any time at financial@utep, or they're giving you their phone number. I will make this recording, folks, available if I can, or I'll send you the slides afterwards so you'll have the information of we're going over today. But in general, you want it, well, not in general, always, your best bet is to go to the UTEP financial aid office if it's about funding and support for paying for your degree and your courses. If you have any issues like your payment didn't come or something like that, we have no way to access their information. That's a secure database run by the UTEP financial aid office, and you'll need to go to them. Okay. How's the program and the courses offered, and what is the duration of each? Most of our courses across TED at the master's level are fully online. They usually run asynchronous, which means they tend to run on a weekly schedule, but you can come in and do your work at the time that you need to do. Most professors will set like, okay, we're doing week 1 and you have an assignment by Wednesday or Thursday and something's due by Saturday, something's due by Sunday. So there may be specific times, but you don't have to meet usually for most classes with your professor in this kind of like a Zoom. That is, there are some exceptions to the rules. Some professors do hold either mandatory or optional interactive video meetings like this. So they would be like virtual class meetings. The other exception is if you are a bilingual education student or a dual credit master's student. Dual credit for students take on-campus courses or hybrid courses. And in terms of BED, that program is offered either as hybrid in person or online. So there's opportunities sometimes for students to take on campus classes in bed. All the other programs though, in the curriculum instruction masters and the diversity and equity, STEM ed, all those are fully online programs. We run our programs either as the semesters in these programs are considered, the full semester is considered 14 weeks. Did you have a question, love? Gabby, do you have a question? Question? No? Do you have a question? No, okay. Okay. 14 weeks is considered the full semester, and an undergraduate, it's 16. So I just want to let you know the semester is slightly shorter. We do run courses, they're intensive courses. They're not half the work, they're double the work in a shorter period, folks. But we do run our intensive 7-week courses, and those run either what we call 701, which would start at the beginning of courses. So like 701, if you're registered in a 701, folks, you're starting on August 23rd, and your class ends done. That class is 100% done by October 10th. And then the following week, fall 2, 702 courses start, and they would run through the middle of October through the beginning of December. We do this for a specific reason. You know, this idea of you're trying to get the fastest gone, taking 3 courses at once would be a lot. By taking a 14-week and 7 weeks, it allows you to concentrate on 2 classes at one time. And students have reported to us that that helps facilitate them taking all these courses. So the duration of the course is always listed in Goldmine in the registration system. And when you interact with faculty and or staff to help facilitate enrollment, they'll tell you how the course is laid out, or you can ask, wait, is this a 14-week, a 7-1, or a 7-2? So just how you know, courses can run in any of that. We do sometimes, in the master's level, offer what's called a Maymester. That's a special course that runs between the end of spring, ends like in the beginning of May, and then summer 1 starts towards the end of May, beginning of June. And so there's like this 2.5-week period. Very rarely, but sometimes a master course will run 2 weeks online, super intensive, but you can knock it out in that little time. If I remember right, the only one that does that right now is a bed course. So most of your courses are going to run in the traditional semesters. However, they may not take the whole semester. Okay. What courses do you need to take? All of you should have been sent by a teacher department staff. And if you haven't, you'll email that tedgrad@utep.edu. And I put a little picture up. It's something like this. It's a little form that gives you the courses that you're required to take in your program, and also sort of, for instance, for this one, you can take any 12 hours out of this whole list, right? So sometimes you have some choice in terms of what, you don't have to fill every blank on the sheet. You just have to either get to your 30 or 36. We're in the process, I should let you know, of updating degree plans to reflect curriculum changes. It will not impact you in the sense that any course that you take this fall will apply even if we update the program. That said, know that you might be getting a new curriculum. The program, degree program you have now may be updated, and we will work with you. Everything you take will but you'll start following this updated plan. We're in the midst of some curriculum changes. So I wanted to mention that we're changing. You do not though just be like, oh, well, I want to take this class instead of this classes. You are required to take the programs that are listed on your plan. The only power, actually, I don't have much power in this world, folks, at all. The one little bit of power that Dr. K and I have is we can officially, in the back end system, create course substitutions. So for instance, as we're updating course plans, it may be the case that a course you took is now not on the degree plan. Dr. K and I, Dr. K for the STEM courses, myself for biliteracy, or bilingual, early childhood, or diversity, or literacy, we will back end apply those as what is the equivalent on the new degree plan. And then also there may be times when your advisor or you're recommended by us to say, hey, there's some scheduling issue. We had it with the diversity folks. There was a scheduling error, and a course that should have been online was offered hybrid, and we couldn't undo it. And so people were expecting online courses. They're like, I'm in Hawaii. I can't come to UTEP for this course. So we made an official departmental substitution. The ability to do that, actually, the faculty can recommend it. Dr. K and I are the ones who only can approve it, because we are the ones who are the only have the authority to get it in the back end system for the graduate school to ensure that it will count towards your financial aid. I will tell you that any course that you take that is not on your degree or has not been officially substituted by the department, Dr. K and I, you can only take courses that will be paid by financial aid that are on your degree plan. So you need to follow your degree plan, or you need to have the okay from Dr. K or I that we've made that substitution. You may not get that directly from me, folks. You would get them from Mr. Navarro, Margot, or Kathy Surratt. They'll say, oh, the department or the chairs have approved this substitution is good, you're fine. Okay.
Alice, I want to interrupt. There is question in the chat, and the person saying he's in school counseling degree, master degree. And so it was not clear if all our classes are online. So I think there is some confusion because
wait,
we are not.
Who is this person? They're in school counseling? Because this is for TED. Isn't school counseling is not us.
Gahion, can you unmute yourself and ask your question? Sorry, because maybe you are in the wrong place.
Advisement.
Yeah, Gahion. Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was in wrong orientation. Yeah.
I think you are. This is for teacher education.
Yeah, orientation.
Okay.
Sorry
yep. Counseling, you're going to have to go to the counseling department.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's random and weird, but okay. But you're welcome to stay, sir. Okay, so we can approve course substitutions at the department and the grad school level. But that's not a power that actually students have, and it's not a part, actually your faculty can recommend it. It's still got to be approved and checked by us, and staff doesn't do that. You do submit requests or work with your faculty or your staff or the staff to make those substitutions. Dr. K and I will approve them. Usually we do, you know, when appropriate. How do you choose your courses? Okay, almost all of the courses at the master's level are on a course rotation. We call it the course carousel. I'm an early childhood professor. Some of you know me, some of you don't. Some of you'll get to know me when you take early childhood classes. Yes, I put a little baby carousel on the screen. What happens? You come in this fall. You're basically, all of you all are jumping in the little, do you see the little the motorboat, whatever, that little motorboat? So all y'all are jumping in the motorboat, right? People who come in next spring, they'll be on the little, I'm gonna call it a donkey, not sure. And summer we're sticking in the baby carriage or saucer cup, okay? In other words, you jump on the carousel and then you ride that carousel. So oftentimes the courses that are available to you are based on where you jump on. This is why I say it's important to stay in the program, because if you jump off the carousel, when it swings around again, now you're on the donkey, we're going to have to work with you to get you back to get the courses you need. So I want to encourage you all to start and finish. Get on the little motorboat and ride that to graduation. Okay, everyone? So what does that mean? It means that in general, you can figure out your course schedule, because almost always what you need next is just coming the next semester. The question then is, how many courses do you want? There will in general always be, in fall and spring, 3 courses available to you. So there's 3 courses, they're all on your plan, you're taking 2. There's where you get some choice. If you're taking 3, you take all 3. You know what I'm saying? So it's only when you take less than the fullest full that you have some choice of courses to take in your little motorboat. How do you register? All of you should have been registered by either Kathy Surratt or Margot Navarro. If you are not registered, again, you need to send a message to tedgrad@utep.edu. That first time we help facilitate the enrollment for you. Moving forward, so just so you know, courses for spring will be, they usually show in Goldmine, which is our registration system. They should show sometime in mid-October. And usually, I think it's right before Thanksgiving break. So by the end of October, beginning November, you should be able to register for your spring courses. Moving forward, you will register by yourself. What will happen though? You'll receive an email from Mr. Navarro or our new master's coordinator. We have a new master's coordinator going on. Her name is Valeria Padilla, and she'll be starting on September 7th. So you'll be starting to get some messages from Valerie super soon. She is the main point of contact for this program. However, registration really falls under, gets much support by Mr. Navarro and Ms. Surratt. But what's going to happen is Mr. Navarro will send you the CRNs. CRNs are course registration numbers. So for instance, any of you who are like enrolled, I'm teaching ECED 53, 55 in the fall. There's a specific number that identifies that. So for instance, there's two sections of, some of you are probably in ECED 53, 57. That's the one I should use. There's two sections of that same course, but each of those sections has a specific number, a course registration number, an identifier number that's specific to it, even though they're the same course, different sections. What Mr. Navarro or Ms. Padilla or Ms. Surratt will do is they will make those numbers available for you. So you'll go into the course registration and you'll put those numbers. A lot of the courses at the master's level are not available. They don't show unless you search by the course number we give you. Why? They've been reserved for you alone. We don't want everybody in the world registering for the courses and taking your spot. So we actually hide them. Shh, don't tell the world. We hide these courses so that you get priority registration. And then once we know that all of our master's students in TED are registered, then we may make it open to the bigger, wider world. So if you go into the registration system and just look for ECED 56 or BED 30, 53, 31, you're not going to find it. You need to search for it by the special identification numbers, and those will be sent for you every semester. You will get an email with those numbers, and then you can go look up courses and then decide, are you taking 1 or 2 or 3? Which brings up the point. Every once in a while, somebody asks to take more than 3. It is our general recommendation not to do that. There are exceptions, and sometimes with departmental permission, you may get a 4th course. But again, these are specific cases, and we highly, highly recommend not doing that. It causes all kinds of grief, which I'll share in a minute. And 3 is pretty fast and pretty intense, folks. So you use the CRNs to search for the courses. You decide if you're going to take 1, 2, or 3, and you'll be able in the system to just enroll yourself moving forward. That said, if you have any problems registering, the person you should contact is Margot Navarro. And do I have him? Did I put it? Of course I didn't. Margot Navarro, sorry, I made these very late last night. Mr. Navarro, his email is Navarro, Navarro 2. Is it 2 or 6, Olga? 2 @utep.edu. And I will make you should have had information from him or Miss Surratt. If you don't know, if you're like, I don't know who this Mr. Navarro is, you've probably been working with Kathy Surratt. And so they can always facilitate. You'll go in and do it yourself, but it doesn't let me in. The CRN number didn't bring up courses, something funky. You can always reach out to TED department staff and we'll make sure we get that information. In general, if you're like, I don't know who I'm supposed to contact, tedgrad@utep.edu, and we'll shoot that to the right person. Oh, this is an enrollment issue. Here, Margot Navarro, help this student. Okay. Or it's an even bigger issue. It gets shoot up to Dr. K or I. How do you access your course? Okay, great. Hashi, this is great. I'm in. I'm ready to start. My class starts next week. Where? How? All courses in all master's programs in the teacher education department are run in Blackboard. Some of you may be familiar with Blackboard, have used it in your undergrad, have used it in your work or other things. It's an online course management program. What do? Well, you go to the UTEP main site, and in the top right-hand corner is a little tag, and it's called My UTEP. And when you click on that, it'll bring up a student side and a faculty side. And under your student side, which is what you all are, is a Blackboard button. It's the second one down. And you click on that Blackboard button and you log in using your UTEP credentials. What is that? That's always your email, your UTEP. Whenever you're asked for your UTEP credentials, they're asking for your email and you to put your password. That said, let me just share. Never ever does UTEP send a message asking you to email back your password. That will never, ever happen. They may say, please go to this website that is UTEP approved and log in. But even then, we've had all kinds of phishing and crazy scamming. So I'm just making a note. Nothing will ever come if it doesn't say, it's like if it comes from Margot, if it comes from me, it should say at utep.edu. So you have to be a little vigilant. If they're asking for information from you and you got to, but it's like from at Gmail or at wahoonet dot whatever, or at ae dot, com dot whatever, it is not from UTEP. Only things from UTEP are utep.edu.
Can I add something? There could be some phishing scam that coming from utep.edu. So if you suspect that something wrong, email forward it to help desk at utep.edu and they will clarify. Because I personally received something from utep.edu which was fake.
If you think it's suspicious, and anything where it asks for like your social security, your money or whatever, you can forward it to helpdesk.edu or TEDgrad and say, hey, is this real? I got this, and we'll investigate it for you. There's just been a lot of funky stuff going on with as we've all moved online in the last year, folks. So just usually messages to you will come from Dr. Koshaleva, Dr. Elise, your advisor, me, Hashi, you already know, Margot Navarra, Kathy Surratt, Valerie Padilla. Those are pretty much, that's it. So if you get something funky that's asking you to do something, you're welcome to double check it with us. Oh, you might get something from the grad school. That's the other thing.
Also, can I just tell that I use my personal cell phone to call students. So sometimes, it looks maybe suspicious when it's a unknown number. So you need to, if somebody persistently calling you, just call back and say, who are you? What do you need from me? And please update your phone numbers on Goldmine, because that's where I get your Goldmine number. And sometimes I get some angry relative, former relative. So please update your phone numbers on Goldmine.
Right. And if you're getting a message from me, I've started texting ahead of time because my area code is 646 and people are like, why is somebody from New York calling me? Just because I'm a El Pasoan now. I've been here for 4 years, but I had 20 years in New York and I'm keeping my number as a piece of that time in my life. That's it, folks. Anyways, so once you log in with your UTEP credentials into Blackboard, then you'll see a little area called My Courses, and your courses are listed under there. When you click on that, you open up, you're right at your page. There'll be some directions of what to do, and you can just go right into the class. That said, sometimes Blackboard's down, sometimes there are technical issues, sometimes there's some feature of Blackboard that your professor is asking you to use that's not working. What do? Just like the TED department, faculty and staff do not process financial aid. None of us are really high-end Blackboard users. We know the interface, we know how to use it, but we're probably not gonna, if some feature is not working or Blackboard's down, I have no capacity to put it back up. What should you do? Notify your professor. Email your professor and say, hey, this issue is there. You're doing it to inform them only. Most of them will have a course policy. So for instance, if you take classes with me, I say, hey, if something's due, Blackboard's down, email me, tell it's down, and send me the assignment, and I will check to make sure it's down, and then I'll accept that assignment. So everybody, and that's my policy. Other professors have different policies, so you'll follow their policy. But I wouldn't ask them, how do I fix this? Or how do I do this? Because it's unlikely that they would know either. We have a help desk. It's literally helpdesk@utep.edu. They have a phone number. They have a whole website. If you are truly having problems with any course, features in Blackboard, can't get into Blackboard, stuff with like that, send a message to the help desk. What are the expectations of you as a student in the program? Well, the courses in this program are very rigorous. UTEP is an R1 institution. That means that a Research 1 or R1 is a classification in the United States. That means that we're a top research, and there's not very many of us in the country. So you have the pride of knowing that you will graduate from an R1 institution. That actually means something. That said, there's academic standards that have to be met. So in general, the general rule of thumb is that each course per week should includes 9 to 12 hours of work. So that it might be the readings you have to do. That means the activities you have to do. So this is why I'm saying taking 3 courses, that's 3 times 12, if we go to the extreme, that's a full-time job, folks. And I know most of you already have full-time jobs. So you'll have to think about what's the best way, what speed makes the most sense, so that you can make sure you maintain what you need at work, be able to kiss your partner or parent or kid once in a while, those type of things. Okay. What do I do if I'm having problems in a course? Be proactive. The first thing you should do is reach out to your professor right away, especially in those 7 weeks course, folks. It is telling your professor, oh, I'm having trouble on week 5 or week 6. The course is over the following week. You're not giving much room for professors to help you. Course assignments, flexibility, deadlines, extensions, incompletes, all of these type of things are at the discretion of your instructor. So they really are the person that you need to work with if you are running into issues or trouble in your courses. We do not recommend it at all, but sometimes because of emergencies or life things, you have to stop a course. You have 2 options. You can drop the course, take it again the next time it comes in the rotation, or you can negotiate with the professor for an incomplete. Incompletes are rarely given, but when they are, they provide you and your professor would negotiate up to a year of an extension of when you'll get that coursework in to get the grade. We do not recommend incompletes unless you are really struggling. There's something major going on in your life. Seek support from your faculty advisor. All of you, when you enter the program, are given an initial faculty advisor. I want to caution and say, oh, I'm having trouble in this course. Then you go to your course instructor. Your faculty advisor is there as just a general resource to you, right? If it's about specific content, you should go to that professor. If it's about program, negotiating, needing help outside of the content of that course, you have a program faculty advisor, and who I will share right now. Any of you who are joining us in the bilingual ed face-to-face hybrid, your faculty advisor is Dr. Elena Squerdo. I'll give you these slides or this recording, folks, because then you just put their name in UTEP, you'll get all their contact. Bilingual ed, if you are online UTEP Connect, your faculty advisor is Dr. Ray Reyes. If you are a new master's in literacy ed student, Dr. Sarah Jean Johnson is the general faculty advisor for that program. If you're in early childhood, I'm yours, peeps. So I am your faculty advisor. If you are in curriculum instruction and with a concentration in science or math, then Dr. K is your person. For ed tech, you have Dr. Daniel Tillman. For dual credit, folks, it depends on what you're getting dual credit in. Speech, Spanish, government, psychology is all Dr. De La Pietra. Any of the sciences or maths are Dr. K again, and Dr. Cashman is for history dual credit. I know that you've all talked to Dr. Ullman if you're in the diversity, because she's been calling and chit-chatting with y'all. So Dr. Ullman is for diversity, and STEM ed. Dr. K is a busy person. It's Dr. K again. Anything STEM related except for ed tech, it just kind of all goes to Dr. K again. These faculty have been assigned to you as general support. If you have questions about curriculum, but not a specific content thing for a course, these are the people you could go to. They may have some knowledge about general administration stuff. However, on that side, you should probably contact tedgrad@.edu, and that way we'll connect you to staff support in terms of the administration. They're not going to know what to do. Faculty are not going to know how to apply for graduation, for instance. That's more on the administration side, and that's going to be a staff thing. What is required for me to graduate? Okay. In order to graduate from any master's program, the department has to send a completed signed program evaluation to the graduate school. The graduate school will not confer a degree unless they have a signed and completed program evaluation. The semester before we know when you're about to graduate. When we know you're very close, the TED staff do an internal program evaluation. You'll get it sent showing that you've completed or about to complete. It may just list those 2 or 3 courses you have left that you're still taking, or maybe just your thesis to approve, whatever. You'll sign that, return that to us. We do an audit on it, and it gets submitted to grad school. So one thing is you have to complete all your coursework, and it's got to be certified by the department. The second thing, all teacher education programs require a grade point of 3.0 or higher to graduate. This actually is a graduate school requirement. That's why be thoughtful about whether you're going to take 2 or 3 courses. You want to maintain a 3.0 or better to graduate. If you go below that, you're ineligible to graduate, which causes all kinds of grief. So let's not all go there. Let's just do really great in these courses. On top of the 3.0 requirement that's from the graduate school, the teacher education department you have to get C or better. So in other words, you could take a course, life could have gotten bad for you, and you get a D or an F in it, and it brought your 4.0 down to something, but it's still above 3. So by graduate school, policy, you're still allowed to graduate. In teacher education policy, you are not. So anytime you get a D or an F in the course, you have to retake that course. That's why we really want you to devote the time you need to and think hard about how many courses make sense given your any life situation. And you can take 2 one semester, 3 the other. You can mix it up. You don't have to go and take it always. The other thing is that any capstone course, any programs that have a capstone course, so this would be literacy, this could be bilingual. There's a couple that do that. You need a B or better in your capstone course. So it's not a C or better this time, it's a B or better. That said, all of these I mentioned have some requirement for graduation that's above and beyond coursework. This could take the form of the comprehensive exam, a capstone course that's embedded, a project that's embedded within your final course, or your thesis. If you are a new curriculum instruction bilingual, right now you have the choice of taking comp exam, or sometimes if the capstone course for bilingual is offered, you could take that in its place, as long as you have a course left to take. So basically bilingual students mostly take the comprehensive exam as their final requirement of showing mastery. All the other curriculum instructions, ed tech, dual credit, math, science, your choice is comp exam or comp exam. So they all take the comprehensive exam. What is the comprehensive exam? In your last semester, when you have 30 credits done and only 2 classes left, so anytime you get within 2 classes, you are allowed to take all of these are a 2-part comprehensive exam. It basically boils down to 2 essays. The essays, what are happen if the questions for the essay, the first essay is given to you, you have 2 weeks to write and submit that essay. And then you immediately are given the second essay question, or you have options. It's like you pick from a couple, you write another essay, and then those are graded. They're blind graded by groups of faculty, and then you either pass or fail. So there's two parts to the comprehensive exam. We call it the TED core and the concentration. You need to pass both parts to have completed and met that requirement. Now, we have all kinds of support for this final comprehensive exam. Dr. Reyes runs a workshop for all students about this exam. So for instance, those people who are finishing and are going to take the comp exam this fall, on the 25th, Dr. Reyes is running a 2-hour workshop with them. So you don't need to, this is the end, folks, so don't panic about this. You'll get lots of information as it gets closer and closer to your graduation about this requirement of doing the comp exam. If you're in a capstone course, that's a course that's embedded, you do a project that's equivalent to the comp exam, which is, so you're going to write up a big project or essay anyways. Thesis is its own little bird. The MA programs, oh wait, let me just go down. If you're in literacy education, you do a capstone project. You take a course with a big project in it. And both of the Masters of Art degree, the diversity and the STEM ed, they are a thesis. Thesis is its own little special. In this case, you'll take 2 courses as part of your coursework, Thesis 1 and Thesis 2. Your job is to come up with an original piece of scholarship. You'll be given the tools to do that. Your chair, your advisor would serve as your your thesis chair, and your work gets reviewed and you present it to a committee who then approve that you've met the standard for thesis. Again, folks, you'll if you're in diversity or STEM ed, you'll start taking Thesis 1 and your second semester. You'll get tons more details about it, and you will get all kinds of supports and guidelines about how to complete a thesis project as part of your master's. The last thing you have to do is you have to actually apply to graduate. This takes place in your last semester. We notify you, hey, it's time to apply. Hey, this is the deadline. Hey, yeah, sorry, everyone, you have to pay a fee. It's like $35. And then if you're late, it goes up to $50. And then if you pass the date, you don't get to graduate that semester. That said, UTEP does graduate twice a year. We graduate students in May for the traditional spring. And then if you finished in summer or fall, you're eligible for a December graduation ceremony and stuff like that. I want to make everybody to note that you must be registered in the semester you apply to graduate. Some people, so you got to be on top of it. If you think you are close and we haven't reached out for you for some reason, you need to contact that TED grad and be like, hey, I got 2 more courses. You know what I mean? I've started my last 2 courses. I need to find out what I need to do. So we got to make sure we get your application to graduate in so that you don't have to, they make you take pay out of pocket $500 for 1 credit course that just gets you enrolled. We don't want anybody getting stuck in that loop. Okay. I know this seems like a lot of information. You're like, holy moly. TED faculty and staff will support you through the process. Whether it's comp exams, whether it's a capstone project or a thesis, you will have faculty who support you in getting you through within courses, without courses, through workshops, through advisement, through all different things. In terms of the administration side, making sure you get in, you're registered to take your comp exam, facilitating the grading of it, giving you the links so that you can apply for graduation, doing the program evaluation and that process. We will facilitate all of that with you. We're going to need your help. We're going to need things from you, like your signature, and you to write your essays and turn them in on time in the proper way and stuff like that. But all that will get facilitated. Okay. How will you receive important information? Well, I want to share with you that all communication from the teacher education department goes to your UTEP email. Of course, you have your school email, you have your Gmail email, and you're like, I don't need another email. This is just nuts. I understand that completely. We do not have the ability to communicate with people. Once you had this, from now on, once you have a UTEP email, we do not send messages to personal email anymore. The system doesn't allow it mostly, and it's just academic policy to keep records. We're not asking you to make this your main email. Keep your main emails. We are asking you every couple days, once a week, check your email, your UTEP email, to see if there's any messages from the department. Also, it's generally the expectation, and it's pretty well known, that all professors will only communicate using UTEP email, and all messages from any courses you're in that come through Blackboard. So for instance, if I want to send a message to everybody in the course, I can use Blackboard to send that message to everybody. It's only going to go to your UTEP emails. So we've had people who are like, oh, now I messed up. I didn't know I was supposed to start my comprehensive exams and now it's due in 3 days. Can I have an extension? The answer is no, because we tell you up front, check your email, folks. We worked with that person. Don't panic. They graduated. But what I want to say is, check this email, because this is where communication from faculty and staff are going to come to. On another note, you may get, the graduate school also sends emails to you. They're usually general information stuff. They might include things like funding opportunity, events that are happening. The graduate school has a separate mandatory orientation. This was voluntary because we just want to give you the information. They will bug you at your UTEP email until you do some online modules for whatever they provide. I don't control that. We don't control that. You kind of have to do what they say. It's this funky thing where you are teacher education students, but you are also graduate school students. We share this, like, yeah, it's sort of like weird divorced parents type thing. We're working through it, folks. Okay. If for any reason you ever get contradictory information between them and us, always come to TED Grad and be like, what's going on here? We'll get stuff straightened out for you. The other thing is, if any of your programs are fully online, then they are through an entity called UTEP Connect. So the classes are actually offered by Extended University through the teacher education department. So they may send you, again, updates, opportunities, orientations, feedback surveys, stuff like that. Okay. So those are the three general entities at UTEP that you would get information. Who do I have? What do I do if I have questions? I need help. If it's about specific content in your course, you should first go to your professor. They are your main resource for within the course. If you are Blackboard technical issues, help desk at UTEP. Mr. Navarro is our guru. He's our person for registration or enrollment issues, and you'll get those CRNs and stuff for him. And he was M. Navarro too at UTEP. Financial aid questions should always go to financial aid office. If you have general academic or career advisement questions, those were those advisors that have been assigned to you just up front. They're there to support you throughout. And then if you have any problems, contradictory information, you're unsure of anything, you think you need this or X and Y, Z, anything that has to do about graduation or administration, the administrative side of things, the email is tedgrad@utep.edu, and this will go to our new, like I said, Valeria Padilla is our new coordinator for the master's program. She'll be starting on the 7th. That will go to her. She will answer her emails every day, and if she'll either respond to you or she'll, send it to Dr. K or I or whoever needs to go to, so that we can get you the answers to help with anything on the administrative side you need. You also very soon will be enrolled in your Blackboard shell. Under my courses, you're going to see something called CC TED Grad Support Resources and Support. Sometimes we send mass emailing out. So for instance, when I send a message to all current graduate students, inviting them to the comp exam workshop with Dr. Reyes. We use the Blackboard. We set up basically a fake course, if you will. It just houses all the information. It has information on comp exams. It has thesis guides that the university puts out. It has information on the process for graduating. You'll find degree plans there that constantly get updated. We use it to promote funding activities, promote certain new courses that are exciting that you may want to consider, put deadlines, all this information up there. So you will be enrolled in this particular course shell is just the administrative side of things, folks. That should, Mr. Navarro is going to put you all in that, if you're not already in it, so that when we start sending general announcement to all master students, you'll be on those lists. Okay. And again, this has just got resource information in there. Oh no. Oh, I accidentally clicked Blackboard. I don't want that. Sorry. It just killed me. Just a sec. I think I was at, did it just kill my PowerPoint? Yeah. Sorry, everyone, it killed my PowerPoint. Oh no. Just a second. Why is it doing for this to me? Because it's Saturday. Let me get back in. Sorry, folks. I accidentally pushed the button. It took me right to Blackboard. I know it's late. Let me get this going from the current slide. Quick thing. I got to make a quick announcement and then we'll take questions. If you are an MA diversity student, you were assigned Dr. Ullman, Shar Ullman, as your advisor. She is your initial advisor. She could end up being your thesis chair. However, you actually have the right and the ability to pick your own chair. You will all be, anybody who's an MA in diversity will be sending out a specific orientation packet to you because of the thesis portion of it. What I wanted to, and it will give a whole bunch of guidelines, some of which I covered now, and some of which will detail things specific for what the thesis project is, what are the rules for it, how you get a committee, all that kind of stuff. You all have Dr. Ullman as your general advisor, and she could be throughout. However, for specifically, if you are a thesis person, by the end of your second semester, you choose a thesis committee chair. It may be Dr. Ullman, it may not. And you turn that name in, it gets registered with the department so that we know they're your committee chair. And in that case, if, for instance, if you chose Dr. Cashman or Dr. Shee or someone else, then Dr. Ullman would not be listed as your primary advisement. We switch it to your thesis chair because they're actually the person that will get you through that thesis process. Like I said, could be Dr. Ullman, but there's any TED faculty could be that. And you'll be getting, if you haven't already, you'll be getting a packet with information about that, just so you have an understanding about picking a thesis chair, which you have until the end of spring to do. If you are a master's in literacy education, we just want to let you know that this program is aligned with the ability to get your reading specialist certification. It's an additional teacher certification, but from the state of Texas. Just because you are accepted into the MA in Lit Ed does not mean you are registered for the reading specialist. It is a separate application process. You have a choice. You can just get your master's in literacy ed. You do not need to seek the additional certification. You can just get your straight master's. You have 1 month basically from now until I'm going to give you, like, I'll give you guys an extra until like October to decide if you're going to also be in this other program. And if yes, you need to apply to it. It's a separate application. To be eligible just for the reading specialist certification, not to graduate with your MED in Lit Ed, you need to be Texas certified, have 3 years of experience. You will have to, if you're not getting this additional certification, you just do a project. If you do want this certification, when it comes time for your capstone, you're going to have to do 160 hours internship. It will be worked within whatever teaching situation you're in, where you're supervised, and it's like reading specialist student teaching kind of, but we don't pull you out of your work. We work with your work. You have to complete the MED in literacy, and you actually have to complete specific courses. This is why we need you, if you're going to get this additional thing, to decide now, because if you are, it's like where there's choices for all the regular MED and Lit Ed, your choices become narrowed because you have to take specific courses to get the additional certification. And then you also have to take their Texas Reading Specialist number 151 exam after you've done it. And assuming you pass that test, then we recommend you to the state for certification, and you would have that additional teacher certification. Again, you do not have to get the additional teacher certification or be a certified teacher to get an MED in literacy education. It's your choice if you want to do this additional thing, if you meet the requirements. And if you do, what we need you to do is contact Lori Ramirez at that number at LAR, she's LA Ramirez 3 at UTEP. Again, literacy ed people, if you haven't gotten a packet, you're going to get it. this should have come, actually information on this should have come with your acceptance letter. We need to get, she'll send you the link to the separate application, and she runs that side of it. Any questions about reading specialist certification, again, coming to us, we're just going to send you to Lori. So you're better off to go right to the source. And I need to close parentheses. It was late. I just saw that I missed that. Okay, everyone, you can unmute. What's your questions?
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Diana Borman.
Hi, Diana.
And-
Welcome. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. I'm doing the early childhood education online.
Yes,
So you would be my advisor, or?
it would be me.
Hi.
Hi,
And-
Diana, I need a special talk with all early childhood after. So if you
Okay.
have program specific stuff, let's wait, because I'm gonna dismiss everybody and then I'm gonna talk to ECE people, okay?
Oh, okay, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, folks? What did I miss? Concerns, questions? Dr. Koshaleva, is there anything in the chat, or are we good?
No, nothing in the chat, nothing in the chat. I just want to say that we had in spring, we had some kind of disturbance with UTEP email, but keep your alternative emails, because we would say, give us backup.
Yes.
So we need to be ready for any situation in this life.
Yes.
Okay.
So if, it's now, I've been talking at you for an hour, you're like done. I totally get it. It's lunchtime if you're in mountain time, and it's Saturday and you're got up early. You know what I mean? You still got to go prep for next Monday. I understand. If that question comes, if we get off and you're like, oh, I just thought of that question, son of a gun. You're more than welcome to send it to tedgrad at utep.edu. We'll get you the answer generally within that day, if not early the next day. So as you're going along, if things come up and you're like, oh, I forgot to ask this or that, you can go ahead and send an email. I will see if I tried to record this. I'm not sure if this recorded, but if it doesn't, at the very least, we'll make this slideshow up once I fix that parentheses on the last slide available to you all, so that you'll have all those names, you'll have all those numbers, and you can move forward. Dr. Koshaleva and I are thrilled that you were in the program. It is our personal mission to support you in this professional growth. At any time, if you need us, you can get a hold of us through TEDgrad or our personal emails, and we will work to support you to get you through the program. We are so excited you are here some of you back at UTEP, or maybe for the first time at UTEP. So thank you, everybody. Welcome to the program.